viewing this right now, chances are I'm dead. I mean, it's a daily vlog. I'm gonna die one day, so who knows? This could be the last show. Wish me luck. The story that you're about to hear is true. The names have been changed to protect me and you. This material should be considered for a mature audience only. User discretion is advised. There are so many reasons why I'm glad I didn't become a rapper at an early age. Now it's more my speed using NFTs and the internet. Remember, as I briefly mentioned in the original 40-Year-Old Rapper, episode 1, I think it was like an hour into it, my first official appearance musically was on the first Chopping Game Records album, Lil Los, entitled Hustlin', like 98, 99. I was like 19 and 20 years old during the creation of that project. And none of us knew that within the next few years, the CDs that we were working so hard to produce would become less valuable because of a new technology that allowed people to burn CDs at home. The music industry itself started a 5 to 6 year transformation process. Even the process of recording music went from big clunky studios to rooms or closets in your home. This process led to artists having more control over the creative process and the financial stability of their future. Like me, I'm currently involved in the official publication of my own music, but I'm not signed to a recording contract. Still, my music can be viewed on every major platform, with the exception of TV and radio, of course. But what is TV? And what is radio? People view everything on the internet, so YouTube is TV. And YouTube is the biggest music streaming platform, so YouTube is radio. So the resources are much greater for artists releasing music, as well as growing that music business part. For example, not only am I watching/playing with the stock market using these modern technologies, simultaneously, I'm distributing music and monitoring the streaming revenue. I'm creating digital ads for ad campaigns, plus monitoring that, as well as merchandise creation. And remember, whatever sales happen needs to be governed, meaning refunds and customer service. I had my first Zoom call recently based on my personal business, and with my training from Configuro, I was able to seamlessly move in and out of the call with no problems. This was a meeting with an app designer from India named Sanket. A client of mine wanted me to make an inquiry about the best tech solution for a mobile delivery app, kind of like a Uber and Uber Eats. Oh, and did I mention my personal business is a marketing, content creation, and ad placement provider. Plus, I'm a vlogger. In all of these businesses, the content creation, vlogs, apps, digital ads, web administration, managing assets, store refunds, updates, inventory, basic accounting, balance sheet, P&L, ad placement on places like Google, Facebook, running campaigns for my personal music creations, they call them works, as a business, right? Plus stock investments all happen in a mobile way, meaning wherever I'm at is my workstation. So this tech life really changed the world, and I'm glad to see it. And I'm sending some elements over to the logo designer right now, so I'm gonna work well off into the night. The logo in here, and this thumbnail for the YouTube video. At the end of summer 2021, my house was together and I felt comfortable having a family event.
Who is my next contestant? Ronnie, there's a competition out here.
Did someone say karaoke? For the last 5 years, we gathered in Youngstown to celebrate my dad's birthday, the week of Labor Day weekend. This year he was in a medical facility, so we hung out with him at the facility a few days. I like that square balloon.
Anyway, at the end of the day, you know what it is. Zorro in town.
And then had a family gathering at my house. In 2020, we had that event at my cousin's house. We had an official DJ in the building. DJ Get It was in the building. Like I said, we like to do karaoke. This was hosted by my cousin Missy. We had a couple winners, a couple runner-ups, but all in all, we had fun hanging out with family. Pops enjoyed himself, though.
First place goes to Claudia Harris.
My cousin Maquasia was the first runner-up, and then we had, well, I'll just let you see.
Some words. Show row.
About the judges. This is about the judges.
How you gonna win a competition? You set the competition up. We had fun though. DJ Get It had a blast. Look. Right? This is my nephew Jaden right here. He did a special performance for us.
Walk it out then. Walk it out. It don't matter. There you go.
So being able to gather is great. Having people at the house is fun. This is my niece Uriah. She won in 2021.
Returning. What the hell? Are you coming back next year to defend the crown? Will you be back? Will you be back? Oh my God, she's coming back. She's coming back. Chuck, how do you feel right now? They didn't want to come outside. They didn't come outside.
Chuck did that song Afraid to Come Outside. And by that time, everybody was split.
What we doing? All right, well, this look like a spades game. You good? Everybody won?
I ended up doing a special performance. Me and my cousin Jermaine.
Okay, back to the party.
Even Joe Rowe got in on the action again.
Oh yeah, y'all set.
Yeah, they are.
All right. So there's plenty of space. Wow, I see that.
You know, Mom had tried to help me separate from you, but I
All right. Nothing. Purple City Bird Gang. I need to take this picture.
And then that's the night Bishop did Listener for the first time.
Listener.
Yeah.
So clear I can hear a hummingbird stand still. While I don't have to speak for hours.
A couple days later, on September 8th, I found myself gathering at the house again with family. I'm like, hey, might as well shoot some video. I had this song called Camorra. I'm like, yo, we could shoot this in the orange room. Joe, just sit over there. Let's go.
Hey, what is that?
All right, I'm not here.
You know, sometimes it's hard trying to capture content with this group of people because these cats is silly, man.
I ain't never got so many pictures of white niggas with their shirt off in my life.
I don't know, man. So my theory with this was just to take some shots while they was here in town and in this room, so then later on when I go to edit it together and they not here, I can kind of edit them into the shots without giving too much of the treatment or the storyline away of the video. Basically, see the TV on the ground right there? It's gonna be another TV, different TVs, and at some point, well, I just can't give it away. Just know that we going digital with this shit. There's this technology called Unreal Engine, and you can turn stuff into like cartoonish type things. So we gonna go in between this world and a cartoon version of it. You know what I'm saying? I don't know, but basically the theme was sitting in this room watching like the stock market and stuff like that, and going digital.
Miles is in free. That's cool. Roll up. Fuck it.
It's like, so there's all kind of editing effects I can do and all kind of shit. That's a cameraman.
Cameraman? Direct.
Later on that day, we did home movies. So 2 things real quick. Home movies is basically vlogs, right? So back in the day we would do home movies. This was taken in like what, 2000. So Joe Rogan been on this early, and you got to remember the time and the era we grew up in, along with the environment. Walking around with a camera was like something you didn't want to do. So shout out to Joe for being brave. I mean, he caught some classic stuff from back in the day, so you get the crown for that. This is Lil Sean and Joe Rowe. Oh, look at my teeth. That's Lil Sean and Joe Rowe versus me and Johnny. Number 2 thing is we do this thing called Freestyle Wars. So right now, Lil Sean and Jody is battling me and Johnny.
Hey, yo. Hey, yo, every time I spit, I be eating shit. Yo, that lava pitch, yo, make you leave shit.
Me and Lil Shade come through, spray your way. Johnny just got ate up, not just yesterday, but today. What?
And then September 10th was my cousin Rose's 46th birthday. And this guy is special for a lot of reasons, but just know I say it's only one Rose. We had to come out, show love. We had a fun time.
Love you, Rose. You made a difference, man, in a lot of people's lives. You need to know that. We definitely mine. Include mine, dog.
Happy birthday, cousin. Thanks for everything. You definitely made a difference in my life. But yeah, just hanging out with the fam is always a blessing. Mike Ham, cousin Jermaine, Elite Records, you already know. Almost a month later, I had breakfast for the first time after getting the kitchen fixed, and then it was off to do some yard work. My grandma had a garden when I was growing up. She had all kind of things in her garden. Of course, there was stuff like tomatoes and peppers. There were all kind of crazy things, like she had mint. I mean, she had a peach tree, also had a grapevine. I grew up and got that house. There's plants and stuff that's been in these backyards for 50, 60 years. Like, there's a grapevine, and there's also an old doghouse. There's a rose bush and an old flower pot for flowers. This house / these houses are very important to me. See, I grew up in a unique environment. My dad married the girl next door, so if I visit my grandmother and want to visit my other grandmother, I could just walk next door. So quick update on Pops. Since I've been back in town, my goal was to help out as much as possible. You know, store runs, doctor visits. We had an incident on Christmas Eve 2020, however, and I haven't felt comfortable leaving him home without 24-hour health care. So say goodbye to independence. He started to downsize, and he even gave us all a few dollars. This is me taking the last loads from his house in late September. I mean, a whole house. What I'm gonna do with a whole house? Now I gotta find somewhere in my house to put his house, and I'm just now getting my house together. But you know, it's all love. My cousins came out and helped me, and honestly, I wish we didn't have to do it. I used to like coming to visit my pops. He always got some old school playing. We used to watch cowboy movies and all that stuff and just be hanging out. He loved to cook. He liked to make short ribs and stuff like that. So it's a big thing, but you know, it's us downsizing and, you know, kind of like preparing for the future. But it was tough. I got emotional a couple times. So my mom and dad grew up next door to each other, fell in love, and got married. And when I got my grandmother's house, it was as if I inherited my family's history in a physical form. But it needed work, of course. I mean, that's what I've been doing for the last year or two, is working on that. Man, what the hell is this? This type of stuff I'm talking about. Now look at this. This is definitely like a old windy spoon that was probably in the garden holding up a plant or something. And look at that, it's been there for 50 years. I mean, the ground literally has been undisturbed. Nobody has actually stepped there and broke this plastic ass spoon for a very long time. Ain't no telling when my grandfather or grandmother put that on the ground and had a plant held up. Maybe little stuff like that all around the house that I find and be like, wow. And guess what? I'm gonna put it right back in the ground. When my grandmother passed away, that's my dad's mom, we were in the backyard next door sitting around a small fire pit my cousin Rose made, and we had a family moment. I remember someone said we was gonna do this thing where we write on a piece of paper something that bothered us growing up in this family. And if a person had done you wrong, you write it down on a piece of paper, speak your piece on it, and when you're done, you throw the paper into the fire and let the problem go as the paper burns away. I got this fire pit with the few bucks my dad gave me. Hey, tell me why every time I stand in front of a fire, I think of that DMX CD, It's Dark and Hell is Hot. April 9th of 2021, DMX passed away at 50. And this was 2 years and 10 days after Nipsey passed. I mean, his funeral was crazy. Kanye West was there. They all had on red cloaks. I mean, dude left his funeral in a monster truck. I mean, this dude is Belly. I mean, this guy, along with Hype Williams and the supporting cast, like pushed the culture forward in the late 90s, early 2000s. This shot on the Unfinished Pyramid right here was shot by Jonathan Mannion, a Cleveland native. And then it's that whole thing about he was recording his last album, just got his album done. I'm glad I'm not becoming a rapper having to deal with contracts like back then. Then the rain came and put out the fire. But honestly, it was perfect timing. Hell, dark clouds don't bother me. Shoot. I got an album on the way called Gray Day.
So black cats don't cross my path. They walk with me, these ghosts are not from my past. They talk with me every day as I run my laps.
So the rain stopping my yard work was perfect timing because I'd already planned to go catch up with Black. Since I've been back in town during this pandemic, my goal was to catch up with my friends and family, and as far as what I've been on, that's the digital revolution. Black is one of those people that understand crypto and gaming. So sometimes we hit Sam's Club to do some grocery shopping and catch up. And on some days like today, after shopping, we'll grab a bite to eat, break bread, have a few drinks, and continue to chop up at my house. So to incorporate my chop-ups with Black about crypto into my content creation, we started going live. And you can catch those live broadcasts outside of this vlog. I call the show What That Crypto Hit For. Link in the description. The last time we linked up, I had this instrumental playing from Sincere Noble called Greatness. I was inspired to write a verse, but I didn't finish the record. See, inspiration for me comes from a lot of places. I can be inspired by nature, art, or just hanging out with my people. So earlier while I was in the backyard, I was inspired with the idea of how I wanted to end this record. And I'm sharing it with Black while he's being inspired by the new artwork I got on the wall. So this is what I came up with to end the song as I was outside in the yard doing yard work earlier. I had Black play the song on his phone and I played the video of Bishop doing his poem and seen how it lined up.
That shit sound crazy.
Listener, so clear I can hear a hummingbird stand still, while I don't have to speak for hours. As I sit consciously with the thinker who quietly says to be still be present, a gift which gives every day.
Dope song, link in the description. But yeah, we just continued our chop up.
Look at that Roblox, man. That remind me of the MetaVerse, Sandbox.
Alright, hold on real quick. Let's get this clear. Siri. What is Roblox?